Welcome to today's podcast episode here at Leader Seeds Podcast. My name is Jordan. I'll be your host here. And what's exciting about today is that if you're listening to this episode, this is the kickoff of what we call a 10 and 10. So you're going to have 10 episodes back to back for 10 days straight, all 10-minute sections, really quick clips. We hope to deliver great value right in that 10 minutes. So stick with us. If you're here, stick with us all the way through it to the end of the 10 and 10, and let's see what happens. All right, so let's get this 10 and 10 started. Basically, you might be thinking, what did this come about or what had happened? You know, there's two things. I wanted to set some accountability for myself, and I wanted to set some consistency here on the podcast platform. I was talking to a couple buddies the other day and some things that I was sharing with them, and they just kept telling me, man, you should put that on a podcast. You should put that on a podcast. And it started to make me think, like, I live in this stuff, you know, and those that I talk to every day, we live in this stuff every day. But let's put this on the podcast. Let's see. There's a lot of topics that come up in everyday conversation, and that's pretty much what we're going to have for the next 10 days. But it won't be just random conversation. I want you to expect to get great value in the next 10 days. It's going to be really focused on high impact leadership and healthy habits. We call it high impact and healthy leadership. We put it all together because I truly believe here at Leader Seeds, we truly believe that we're all made to make a high impact. When you're pursuing your full potential, you'll make a high impact, but you never have to sacrifice that to an unhealthy lifestyle. Like, you can have both, and there's a foundation that we set, that we start, and we serve from in our leadership journey. So what we're going to do for the next 10 days, we're going to actually start really quickly, and I'm going to give you a word that's standing out, and I'm going to open up that word. I'm going to tell you how that's a foundational element in high impact and healthy leadership. So the word today, if you're taking notes, we're always saying note takers are difference makers. So if you're able to take notes, go ahead and write some notes down. If you do it on your phone, on a napkin, wherever it is, if you're able to take notes, write it down, because we always say note takers are difference makers. You literally are like giving yourself an edge in remembering information because you're writing something down. So it's not just a fancy saying. Biology shows that you're giving yourself an edge by writing things down, by taking notes. It's not just a fancy saying. So go ahead, take notes if you absolutely can. Let's go ahead and rock and roll. So today's word is clarity. The word is clarity. And I'll even open that up to maybe even three words that kind of put together today's episode. And that's clarity sets priority. So maybe write that down. Clarity sets priority. Now, ideally, we were focusing on clarity, right? But the topic today, if there's a subtitle, it's clarity sets priority. Now, if you're pursuing your full potential, if you're going out there and you're working every day and you believe in better, we always say hashtag believe in better, right? If you believe in better, if you're pursuing your full potential, if you're going out there and you're saying, how can we make a better impact in whatever it is that we're called to do? If you're doing that, I'm gonna ask you a question. I got a little tongue twisted right there. I'm going to ask you a question. And where would you know more details in? Your dreams or your memories? If you had a piece of paper in front of you right now, you put a line down the middle and look on the right and look on the left. And one side you put your dreams, one side you put memories. Where could you go ahead and put more details in? Your dreams or your memories? Or it could be maybe the question similar is like, maybe where do you know more details in? Tomorrow or yesterday? Where do you have more clarity in? You see, the proof is in the details. Where do you have more clarity in? Tomorrow or yesterday? In your dreams or in your memories? Now, by default, when we do this in a room, when we do this live, by default, most people in the room, probably most listeners right now, will have more details and more clarity in yesterday or in our memories. And the reason is because it just feels more real, because we lived it out, right? Like you lived it out, and you felt some kind of emotion, whether it's a good experience or a bad experience, and a good memory or a bad memory, right? It feels more real. But don't be fooled that it means that it is more real, because it doesn't mean that it is more real. It just means that it feels more real. Maybe go ahead and highlight that if you're writing notes. Feels, highlight that. Maybe put a big underline that feels more real. Because we have to not allow ourselves to believe that it is more real. Because sometimes most people look at tomorrow or their dreams as kind of just imaginary or just not real. You know, some people say fake it till you make it. I've never pursued anything that I thought was fake. I don't know about you, but if I think it's fake, if I know I'm faking it, what drive is there, right? You want to pursue something that's real. That's why there's such an anchor to us repeating our old habits or our old story. It's an anchor because we have more clarity and more details in it. Remember, the word today is clarity, and the subtitle is Clarity Sets Priority. So let's go right back to that. Clarity sets priority. We are more inclined to give more priority to repeating our past mistakes, even though it hurt. Let that sit for a little bit. Even though the past mistakes hurt and they led us into a place that we don't want, we're more inclined to repeating it because clarity sets priority. We're more clear about that. Even though we don't want that experience again, we're more clear that you don't want that experience. Therefore, you repeat that experience. So what do? We have to be intentional. We have to be intentional by clarifying the dreams that you have for tomorrow, by clarifying tomorrow, by clarifying your goals, by clarifying forward. The more intentional you are with doing that, the way I do it is, first thing, you got to make time. You got to put in your schedule. If it's not in your schedule, it's not real. You got to put in your schedule. Put in your schedule, make time to do this. When you put it in your schedule, sit down, however you do it, music or anything else, but write it out and encourage yourself to put in as much detail as you can. Start with the basic who, what, when, why, how. Just clarify it. Like really clarify what you expect to happen today. If you got a meeting today, what's going to happen? Who's going to be there? What's the outcome going to be? If you got a goal that you're working with, what's going to happen? Who's going to be there? What words are you going to hear? What music is going to, like, just put the details in. Now, this is the pushback. If you're feeling it right now, this is the pushback when I'm working live with people. They say, how do I know the details? Because they want to make it perfect. You see, we don't need it to be perfect. It's not perfection sets priority. It's clarity sets priority. So we just need to be clear so our focus goes there. The details will work itself out. Maybe we seen laughter and then we got joy in the moment. Hey, you win. But you still was focused on what was forward. You see, there's power in that focus, and that's why clarity sets priority. So give yourself the edge and take time to be more clear about your dreams and your vision, because if your memories are greater, we got to make that shift. If you got great memories, awesome, congratulations, but we got to make that shift to make what's greater ahead, right? See, the details is what drive you in momentum. The details is really what drives you. So we want details to drive us forward into greater and bigger and better things, right? We want to have a healthy level of awareness for what's not good and what we learn from. But that's it. Just a healthy level of awareness. That's completely different from the details of it. So you know what doesn't work? Okay, cool. I don't need to know all the details. Like, spare me the details with all that stuff. I don't need all the details with that. I don't need to focus on it. I need to know that I need to be aware that that was a bad mistake. I need to be aware that I don't want that no more. I need to be aware that this is not good. That's it. The level of awareness is there, but spare us the details. Put the details in the forward, because the details is what drives you. I'm about 60-second countdown to finish up our 10 and 10, our first kickoff of our 10 and 10. If you were taking notes, and then I encourage you to go ahead and continue the note taking throughout the 10 and 10. If you weren't taking notes, I encourage you to start taking notes for the next 10 and 10. We got 9 more to go. We're going to kick it off. We don't know what's going to happen in it. Just want to stay consistent with it, increase the value here at Leader Seeds. I thank you for supporting the podcast. If you found any value in today, please go ahead, subscribe, join us on this journey for 10 in 10. Like, comment, share it, leave a review, wherever you feel led to do. We appreciate it. Stay connected with us. You'll hear more details. You can connect with me personally on Instagram at Jordan BP Mossman, JORDAN BP MOSSMAN. We also got another one called Leader Seeds, LEADERSSEEDS. That's it, Leader Seeds. And I'm out of time. We're counting down. I'm in the red right now, so we're going to wrap up for today. Thanks for spending your time here. Remember, clarity was the word for day one, and the subtitle is Clarity Sets Priority. That's it for today.